What's up, YouTube? Back at you with another video, another quick take. I got my guy, Adrian. What up,
Yo, what's going on? What's going on?
my man? So we've got an unfortunate situation that I definitely wanted to talk about today. So we've got an article courtesy of CNN.com, which unfortunately says Japanese creator behind wildly popular Dragon Ball series has died aged 68. The article goes on to say that Toriyama's death was announced on Friday by Dragon Ball's official website in a shared statement from Bird Studio and Capsule Corporation Tokyo. And I have the statement here, which says, "Dear friends and partners, we are deeply saddened to inform you that manga creator Akira Toriyama passed away on March 1st due to acute subdural hematoma. He was age 68. It's our deep regret that he still had several works in the middle of creation with great enthusiasm. Also, he would have many more things to achieve. However, he has left many manga titles and works of art to this world. Thanks to the support of so many people around the world, he has been able to continue his creative activities for over 45 years. We hope that Akira Toriyama's unique world of creation continues to be loved by everyone for a long time to come. We inform you the sad news with gratefulness for your kindness during his lifetime." Funeral service was held with his family and very few relatives, following his wishes for tranquility. We respectfully inform you that we would not accept flowers, condolences, gifts, visiting, offerings, and others. Also, we ask you to refrain from conducting interviews with his family. Future plans for a commemorate gathering is not decided. We will let you know when it's confirmed. We deeply thank you for your understanding and support as always. So, for one, when I first started my YouTube channel, I was doing gaming videos, and among the earliest videos that I made, Dragon Ball videos were one of them. I have a great passion for Dragon Ball, but before I give my thoughts, bro, how did Akira Toriyama's passing affect you? And what were some of the things what went through your mind when you got the news that he passed away?
Just the feels, man, the feels.
Mm,
Oh, it sucks honestly to hear that he passed away. It sucks even more to know that he had greater things coming to carry on his legacy even further. And there's a chance that we may not even get to see that. Hopefully his family and everybody can get through these tough times as well. Prayers out to them. But yeah, man, I was just deeply saddened, man. Dragon Ball Z, it's a part of who I am as far as my love for anime. It was tough reading that, man. It was
hmm
tough reading that.
Yeah. Honestly, for me, it's just it sucks, bro. When people that touched your life and you never even got a chance to meet them, have a conversation, and then when you just turn on your phone and then you see that they passed away, it's just like, damn, especially him being 68. It's like I know people older than him, with
Yeah,
less money, resources and stuff, and he's not here. So that just made me think like, yo, like health is wealth, if you have good health, then you'll live a long life. But if you don't, for whatever reason, it could get, cut short because I don't think he anticipated that because he was
no,
still in the middle of working on things. So I think really this was just kind of like an abrupt thing or probably like the accumulation of complications and then, just happened because I don't know what a subdural hematoma is. Honestly, I think that's the first time I've even heard about something like that. But like you and like everybody else, it was sad, man. I honestly I went straight to this video where it's Vegeta, I guess like he's in the middle of training. I forgot what episode it is, but I think it's during the Cell Saga, I think. And but what they did was so it's Vegeta in the rain and he goes Super Saiyan, but they're playing Phil Collins in the air tonight in the background. And I always would go back and watch that video if I'm ever having like a hard time or going through something or if I felt the same way. I go to that video and that was the first thing that I thought of. And then I was like, yo, let me look at the comments. And then everybody did the same thing. So it was like mad people in that same moment that was saying, rest in peace. Because
hmm
what that, scene in that video meant to me, it meant the same thing to hundreds of thousands of other guys. who grew up watching it. But in short, honestly, health aside, I feel like he lived a meaningful life. And that's what I said on my
100%.
Instagram. Like, what makes a meaningful life is that your life made others better. You know what I'm saying? Because, like you, Dragon Ball was my first start. In terms of anime, like that was probably like the first anime that I watched. As a kid growing up, and I don't think I would be the same exact person that I am today if I wasn't into anime, or if Dragon Ball didn't catch my attention when it did, when I was like, I don't even know how old I was you
That's
know,
facts.
at the time. But and for me, it's like I can only aspire to have that same effect on other people's. Like, you don't even have to know somebody to make their life better. You don't have to know somebody to inspire them. And it's not even like it was him, it was his art. It was
Yeah.
the characters that he literally sat and drew, the stories that he came up with that literally meant everything to us. And that's what
Yeah.
makes it so sad, because it's like, although we have access to those episodes of Dragon Ball, but and it's gonna go on in terms of those stories and that legacy, because as long as the internet is there, and as long as we have media, Dragon Ball is always gonna be there. But now the heart of that, the soul
It's
of that
gone.
is
Yeah.
is gone now. And that was the whole thing for me. It's like when we were talking about Ash Ketchum, it's like Ash was Pokemon, at least in terms of the show. So when you don't
Yeah.
have that anymore, it's like, well, what is the show now? And it's almost like Stan Lee in a way, where when Stan Lee passed away, it's like, damn, like, this is the guy who created my favorite superhero, and he's not here anymore, but it's still going on. People are still writing comics, they're still making movies and all of that. So, the legacy will live on. And, I thank him for that. But I want to ask you, because how often do people ever really sit and reminisce and talk about those things? But I want you to tell me, like if you can remember, like, your earliest memories of Dragon Ball, watching the show for the first time, and what got you into the show.
I'm gonna be honest, man. I feel like most other, young boys out there, you see the guys fighting in the sky, just getting knocked down, getting back up to fight for his friends, to fight for his loved ones, just seeing how hard they were, fighting for their goals. And obviously the animation of seeing two dudes in the air just shooting energy blasts and all of that. It was very, very appealing as a child, but man, it felt like it almost took you out of reality. It took you out of reality, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
you wanted to be in there doing what they were doing. That's why when kids got a bit older, you would see some kids at school trying to go Super Saiyan, screaming in the hallway,
Mm-hmm.
and all these
Yeah.
things, man. But yeah, no, for me personally, I just remember vividly the Saiyan saga when Raditz came down, and was testing Goku, Piccolo, and Kid
Mm-hmm.
Gohan, and all that, man. I was like, wow, this show is amazing, and yeah, man, like you said, man, the heart and soul's gone. It's just very unfortunate, man.
Yeah, man. I don't remember the very first episode of Dragon Ball that I watched, but I remember, and this was before, like, I even had Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon in the house. So I only had, like, I think it was like channels, like, shit, like 1 to like 2025 or something like that. Because I remember Cartoon Network was channel 32, Disney Channel was 31, and Nickelodeon was 33. But
Yeah.
and it wasn't even in English. That shit was in Spanish. So that was the
Oh,
first time.
nah.
Yeah, that was the first time that I actually watched Dragon Ball. That shit was in Spanish. So I didn't even know what they were saying, and it already clicked for me instantly, because I remember watching the intro and then seeing Shenron, because I love dragons and shit like that. So when I was like, what is
Yeah.
that? I was like, what is this? you know. And then I saw Grade Ape, and then, like, cause them shits look like Zords from fucking Power Rangers and shit. So I'm like, yo, what is that? And then, like, just from there, I think eventually when Toonami was a thing was when I really got into Dragon Ball. You know what I'm saying? Because I know they would show Dragon Ball, and then
And
then
then
they
Dragon
started
Ball
showing
Z.
Dragon Ball Z, and then after that they started showing GT. So growing up, you got a chance to literally watch everything in
Yep.
chronological order. You feel what I'm saying? Like the
Yeah.
movies, like the Broly movie. I remember being in the
Oh
fifth grade when that shit
man.
first came out. And niggas calling
Woo.
my house like, yo, are you watching the Broly movie right now? For real. But but yeah, that was my earliest memory of that. It's watching Dragon Ball in Spanish. Dragon Ball in Spanish, and then really it's just the intro. I don't remember obviously I don't remember the episodes because they weren't speaking English. So there's nothing I remember, but I just remember the imagery of the intro that I was like, yeah, like I like this. This is something that I like. But I don't even remember when I started playing the video games. Like I don't remember at what point
The
that
Budokai Tenkaichi series and all of that.
yeah,
Oh
like because I remember I still have my copies of Budokai 1, 2, 3, Tenkaichi 1 through 3, all of that, but I don't even remember, when I first, got them. I just remember playing them. You know what it is? It's like you have so many memories. It's so hard to remember
yeah,
the first one because you gotta go way back.
yeah,
Um, but
way.
uh, but so let me ask you, bro. Um, what were your favorite moments? Like, doesn't it could be Super, it could be GT, it could be Z, it could be Dragon Ball. But what I would say is like maybe like your like what we could talk about multiple moments, but give me a moment that when you think of Dragon Ball, you think of Dragon Ball Z, GT, whatever, you think of this moment type shit.
For me, honestly, it was Trunks, bro. When Trunks came and met them, told them where Frieza was gonna be at. Frieza showed up, and he made quick work of him, King Cold, all the little minions, bro. And like after seeing Goku, already go Super Saiyan, because for a bunch of people, it's Goku going Super Saiyan and beating Frieza, and or some Super Saiyan 3 moment or whatever. But for me, it was I loved seeing Goku finally hit Super Saiyan, Vegeta seeing it, all of that. But for me, it was just Trunks, bro. Trunks was just that. Trunks was him, bro. Like
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying. He made quick work of Frieza and his people. You know what I'm saying? It was the first time we got to see, all right, like this dude is a Super Saiyan. Like, what's going on with him? Homie had a sword, everything. I was like, all right, this is Dragon Ball Z is taking a turn right now. Like,
Mm-hmm.
whoa, like what is going on? And it turned out, that all in all, that whole saga was, just amazing. Like, in all honesty, the Cell saga, Android saga, like that little, niche was my favorite moment, like out of all of Dragon Ball Z. But definitely when Trunks showed up, man, when Trunks
Yeah,
showed up, you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I would say, um, I don't know. It's something about Great Ape that like just kept me invested, honestly, because it was the
nah, I
first
know,
fight. Yeah,
I
it
know
was
you
the
were gonna
first
say that.
fight. Yeah, it was the first fight with Goku and Vegeta. And then when Vegeta, sends the energy ball up into the sky to make the artificial moon, like that, just I was like, yo, this is fucking fire. When I was a little kid, I was like, yo, I love this shit. And the thing was, I always wanted Goku to grow his tail back, and that never happened. Like that was the only thing
Yeah,
for me that I didn't like when they would just cut off their tails and shit because once Vegeta's tail got cut off, this shit never came back. It never came back. So that
no,
was like their kind of way of like getting rid of that whole concept, and we didn't see that again. Well, Gohan still had his, and then even his shit got cut off.
yeah,
But I always liked that about them because I feel like that's what kind of made the show different. Was that because you didn't see a lot of characters that had tails and then they turn into great apes or another form at the full moon and shit like that, and then they're practically unbeatable because in whole Dragon Ball history, like, do you ever really see another character getting the best of the great ape? Nah, like ever. So it's like every time like a character goes grade 8, it's like the 10 times, strength multiplier. And then like the person that they're fighting could be like the baddest of the bad, and even the villain is like, oh shit, what the fuck is this? It's like when Goku was fighting baby Vegeta, when he turned into the golden grade 8, baby Vegeta didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to do. And technically, well, I'm not gonna say he was just as strong as grade 8. I don't know the power skill and none of that, but that was my first moment for me was that. And then I would say there's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of moments that I go back to, but I would say I would say that all right. So well, here's the second one in terms of childhood. So yeah, I remember Deadass trying to go Super Saiyan 3 when that shit came on television.
Nah,
Yeah.
facts,
Like I remember
facts,
legit trying to go Super Saiyan
facts.
3, and my grandmother was there and she was like, "What's wrong with you?" And I remember I was legit trying to go fucking Super Saiyan. And I'm pretty sure mad people was doing that shit, but I remember
Nah, I
that.
did too, bro. I did too. I did too. I did
Yeah,
too.
because it's like separate memories. It's like I have memories that are dear to me because I got older, and then there's other ones that appealed to me as a kid. So I feel like that was two of them that I actually remember. So it was the Goku versus Vegeta, or Grade 8 Vegeta versus Goku and them, and then him going Super Saiyan 3. And it was because and you know what's funny? It ties back to the first shit. It's because in that whole sequence, you see the Great Ape in there.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying? So it all ties in because I remember seeing it as a kid and I was like, yo, like, what does that mean? Like the fact that it showed up, like, is Super Saiyan 3 taking, is it powered by the Great Ape? Those are the things that were going through my mind. So for a while, for a long time, Super Saiyan 3 was my favorite transformation of Goku's, just because of that. Just because of that little like hat tip to the Great Ape form, because they got rid of it, but they didn't completely exit out. So
yeah.
I thought
It
that
was
was
still
fire.
there in ways.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, man. Even you just sitting here saying, you tried to go Super Saiyan 3. When Super Saiyan 3 dropped, bro, everyone was at school trying to do that, bro. Everybody was. It didn't matter if you were a heavy, Dragon Ball / anime fan, or if you just, you just liked Dragon Ball Z as it was, as a show. Everyone was trying to do that, man. But it's crazy. And also to touch upon homie's passing, there's an anime I watched called One Piece. The author of that actually ended up making a statement about Toriyama's passing. And in the statement, he was basically, trying to like let everyone know that, you know a lot of what you see right now out there as far as manga, anime, credits to Dragon Ball, credits to Toriyama for what he's done. He's made it, acceptable and okay for children and adults alike to go and grab a manga about Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, and extend his reach this far out to all these people and connect them, connect
Mhm.
different age groups, different types of people, different ethnicities, backgrounds, all of that. That's all coming from Toriyama, so
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
But it's crazy. I didn't even know that. Like GT was out in the 90s in Japan. We didn't get
yeah,
that shit till like the mid 2000s. That was
yeah,
already well out there in the freaking 90s. So then that means if GT was a thing in the 90s, so then the early 90s, like that means Majin Buu Cell was a thing back then. You
yeah.
know, so
Selling them came out, and Android Cell Saga, I believe it was 1991, 1992.
see,
Yeah,
yeah,
around
like
there. Yeah.
so Akira Toriyama was way ahead of like everybody else in
He was
terms of
way ahead
that.
of his
So he
time.
was the one that kicked down the door for that stylistic, anime. Yeah, like
Yeah,
and
and
I
when
so
and
props to the creator of One Piece, or the writer of One Piece, for even saying that, because most people are not gonna want to give their props. It's like, yo, what One Piece is starts with DBZ, because
yep,
they've been doing that.
yep, bro. Every transformation that you see out right now, that stems from Dragon Ball Z. That's where all of that stems from. And most, if not all, authors of mangas and writers for anime will tell you the same exact thing, bro. And
Yeah.
anyone who denies that is lying.
Yeah,
You know,
and we didn't even have, like, I'm talking about like in America, we didn't even have a show that was equivalent to like that type of animation, or at least that style. We didn't get that till like,
a
way
little
later
bit
on.
after.
I'm trying to think of like a cartoon equivalent to that in terms of like the aesthetic, how good it looked. Like we didn't have anything like that.
No,
Not us. So, and again, we get all that type of shit late. So, again, like he was just way ahead of his time, like just at the front of the class in terms of, what's going on today in terms of anime. But let me ask you. So everybody is talking now about, what Dragon Ball meant to them. But I want you to put it into words. Like, how has what does Dragon Ball mean to you? How has it impacted you as a person? You know what I'm saying? Because I know everybody's gonna say that shit now. Because Dragon Ball to me was like almost like a casual friendly anime. to a certain extent. It's like, so you didn't really have to know the show to know Goku. You didn't have to
Right.
know the show to know what a Super Saiyan was. That was just some shit that it was so popular that people who've never even, watched the show knew what that was. I'm talking about like motherfuckers would like I would be reading a Naruto manga or some shit, and just because they saw blonde hair, that Naruto had blonde hair, oh, like the motherfuckers would be like, oh, is that a Super Saiyan? Is that
Yup.
Goku or some shit? Yeah, like niggas like that. So, what I want you to, like I said, tell me is what it means to you. How has it changed you as a person?
Well,
The impact on your life.
to to answer that question would again to be kind of dipping into what Oda said as far as my love for anime overall. In the early days, there was obviously Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, Yu Yu Hakusho, Roni Kenshin, all those classics. But again, Dragon Ball Z definitely set the standard and the tone, and they were the innovators for everything. But that's what pretty much got my love for anime going. And anyone who watches anime can tell you that there are moments in anime that happen that it just you feel it in you. And there are things that happen to you in real life that don't resonate with you as hard as things in anime can. And that's what happened to me over and over again, during different, points in my life, especially with Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. And like I said, when I was describing one of the things about Dragon Ball earlier was just again, never giving up. Like even as a kid, I knew that. Like seeing Goku get beat time after time, but coming back stronger every single time. You know, I applied that to my life. Like Dragon Ball was literally became like an early guide for me and like a bunch of other kids out there, at that time. Going into adulthood, like you said, you have things that resonate with as an adult and they're separate than what you felt, as a kid. But all in all, from top to bottom, kid to adult now, it's just, keep going and don't give up no matter who's in your way or what's trying to stop you, you know. Dragon Ball is just again, man, it's just one of the goats, man. One of the goats.
Uh, but I'll say for me, right? I think, and again, I just feel like I'm just so detached from my childhood now to really, remember, exactly what it meant to me past like how cool it was. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I feel like Dragon Ball means more to me now, or has meant more to me in my 20s than it did as a kid. So for me, like as a kid, it was just more so like this is a cool show, and I felt, you know, a way about Dragon Ball the same way I felt about Yu Yu Hakusho, Zoids, Beyblade. You feel what I'm saying? Rurouni Kenshin, Gundam, all these different shows. I kind of lumped it in that same category. So I just love them all for at face value. You feel what I'm saying? But it wasn't until I got older that I was able to watch the show with a different eye and a different ear for what they were saying and what was going on. So, because it's like I'm a little kid, I'm not going to catch, a lot of the things that they were saying. Like, it's like now, the moment where just before Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2, when he talks to Android 16, and Android 16 was like, where he says, he's like, I know, like, this isn't really what you want. Like, I know you're a peace loving, kid. You don't like violence. You don't like to, fight. Really, that's not your thing. But he was like, you have to understand that there are going to be people who you can't just talk to them. He was like, there are people that you can't be peaceful with them. And he was like, Cell is one of those people. And that part where like Gohan is crying and then like he doesn't want to do it, but it's like Android 16 is trying to tell him like, yo, like there's certain people you can't talk to them. And in real life, it's just like that. Like there are certain
That's
people
like
that there is no, like I always say, like you can't negotiate with terrorists. There's no negotiating with them. And with Cell, there's no getting through to him other than fighting him and beating him. Because if you don't, everyone's going to die. So he's like, Gohan, you have to unlock that part of yourself that's not afraid to go there. You have to go there. And it wasn't until, Cell stomped his face off, stomped his head in and killed him like completely, was when Gohan unlocked that level. All of that went over my head when I was a kid. Like, I don't remember watching that as a kid. I remember this Gohan Super Saiyan 2 versus Cell, but that specific conversation went through one ear and out the other. I don't remember that. But as an adult, it's like I've been confronted with situations that was like that. It's like, all right, like I have no choice but to tap into that side of myself to get on the other side of whatever that danger is or whatever that conflict is.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I might have to, cut on that episode just to hear 16 talk. And Android 16 is not nearly one of my favorite characters at all, but it's like what that scene actually, means in terms of life. Because art imitates life. These things happen to people every single day. There's a lot of people that are non-confrontational, but it's like in order to get, to the other side, you got to go through that shit. Whatever it is that it is, you have to go through it and you have to tap into that stronger side of yourself. So
Well
that's
said.
one. Yeah, that's one of them, where I'm like, yo, like I just, that's just, you know, um the second one is when Goku is training with Gohan in the hyperbolic time chamber. And I just love just how Goku's relationship with Gohan was. It wasn't like it's like Goku was one way and then with Gohan, and then Vegeta was a completely different way with Trunks. You know what I'm saying? And then notice how arguably, Gohan is way stronger than Trunks. And it's
Oh,
because
there's no debating that.
yeah, and it's because, of his dad, I think, because of how he grew up. So it's like Gohan became as strong as the environment that he grew up in, just like life. So if you have parents that love you, that are pouring into you, you're gonna grow up to be something because of how your parents raised you. You know what I'm saying? Whereas freaking, Vegeta and Trunks in the time chamber, freaking room of spirited time and shit, Vegeta was like, yo, stay the fuck away from me. If you remember the episode, he was like, yo,
Yeah.
like, he didn't even want to train with him. When Trunks thought that he was in danger, he went up to him. He was like, yo, get back. He was like, stay away from me. And it's just like, two completely, separate things. But one thing that I liked about that was Goku saw something in Gohan that Gohan didn't even see in himself very early on. Like way before he even fought Cell, he was like, you're gonna be stronger than me. Gohan was like, what? Especially Goku was that guy. It was like you said Trunks was him. Goku was him. Everybody thought Goku was gonna be the one to beat Cell, and he wasn't. It's because he saw something in Gohan that Gohan didn't see in himself. And in order to get that, one thing that I love that Goku says, he says, the power comes in response to a need, not a desire. You have to create that need. Like certain shit is not going to come in life just because you want it. It's going to come because you need that shit. You know what I'm
Nah, that's
saying? And then eventually, look what happened. Super Saiyan 2, and then he was the strongest, character in DBZ up until that point because Goku wasn't even alive. And then the other part to that was when what was it BoJack, because it was a movie. It was
yeah,
the
yeah,
BoJack
yeah, yeah.
movie, and Gohan had
BoJack.
to fight him by himself. You know what I'm saying? And then it was
Yeah.
the same thing. And if I remember right, because I haven't seen the movie in so long, but I remember like him getting beat up so bad by BoJack, and then he was like thinking of Goku, of his dad. And I remember I was like, damn, yo, like he's really going through it right now. So in essence, like there's no way that I'm watching Dragon Ball just like it's a regular cartoon anymore. Like it's just any other anime. To me, nigga, that shit is like a freaking cartoon Bible, in my opinion.
Nah,
So
yeah, that's
motherfuckers
facts.
will go to the Bible to fucking look up certain shit where they're going through something. Nigga, I'm the same way with film and television. So if I feel a way, I'm going to watch a certain episode of Dragon Ball to get me through whatever it is that I feel like I'm going through right now because the characters are going through the same shit, or like for instance, when we saw the Broly movie, the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, I remember you telling me before I even saw the movie, you were like, "Yo, I feel like you're gonna really rock with Broly," and I was like, "Why?" Because I never really gave a shit about Broly, you know. And then you were
Yeah.
like, not even because, like, honestly, not even because he's green and that's my favorite color, but more so his relationship with his pops. And
Mm-hmm.
I was going through the same shit, like the same exact shit. So when I saw that movie and I started watching it over and over and over again, I was like, yo, like I see myself in Broly more than I see myself in Goku, which is rare because Goku has always been my favorite character. Like forget Trunks, forget Vegeta, forget all of them. It was always Goku for me. And then Broly was the first time that I started looking at somebody else other than Goku. Not because he's green, not because how strong he is, but because of his actual, story,
His actual
means a lot
character.
more to me than the flashy shit. I'm like, the flashy shit is just like an extra add-on to who the character actually is. But if I don't like the character, then like he could be the strongest nigga ever. It's like Jiren is fucking, dead ass, yeah, top 10. Well, at least according to this fucking YouTube channel that I seen. But yeah, Goku and Vegeta had to fuse in order to. Wait, no. How did they beat Jiren again? Well,
Um,
it wasn't,
it,
yeah,
it,
but
it,
basically the
it,
two of
it
them
was
couldn't even beat
they
Jiren
had to
though.
jump in, bro. They
Yeah,
had
yeah,
to jump in, bro.
exactly. But I don't give a shit about Jiren. I don't like him at all.
Yeah,
But yeah, man, like Dragon Ball is literally just a Bible. Has just been a Bible to me. Like shit, me training, that's I take inspiration from that. You know what I'm saying? Even that last sparring video, what did I put in there? I put in like me, shifting into high gear with a fucking Super Saiyan type
Super
shit.
Saiyan
My Super's
aura.
green. Yeah, like
Yeah,
that's where that shit comes from. Because I just feel like art imitates life. Sometimes life should aspire to how perfect, or imperfect, art can be. We could take inspiration from that. So but that's what that was. That's what Dragon Ball has always been, to me, is that because sometimes if you don't have certain people that will push you in life or some shit, it's like if you have like a Vegeta type dad, you could just watch Dragon Ball and then get that dad type of energy from him, from
right,
Goku. Real shit. And that's
right,
that's what that was to me. Because I'm like,
right,
shit, like, you
right.
can only be as good as the people that are nurturing you and watering you and putting into you. Vegeta was pissing on Trunks his whole life. So
Yep.
that's why again, like you don't see Trunks with a special form or something. Where is it gonna come from? Where is it gonna come from? He
Yeah,
he only
the only
had
thing
Super
he,
Saiyan and then Ultra Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan grade 2. And then he couldn't even
yeah.
be second imperfect cell, pretty much. So
Well, hold on. I think he actually was bodying him. I think Vegeta let him go to perfect form, and that's when the problems come. I
well,
think
yeah,
so.
because I think so. Well, because what happened was the form was too slow, so he had power. I don't know if that was against Perfect Cell. It
No,
probably it
it
probably
was
was. Yeah, it
perfect.
probably
It
yeah.
was
I think it
perfect. It was
was. Yeah, because
perfect
Vegeta
stuff.
did that on purpose.
Yeah,
Just
yeah, yeah.
yeah, just
Nah,
standing there.
the form before Perfect Cell was getting cooked by them. In all honesty,
Mm.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then he was
He
like,
was
"I'll
getting
be
cooked.
stronger if I absorb 18 or some shit, right? Or
Yeah, and
17,
then
one of them."
yeah,
And
and
then
then
he
Vegeta was like, "Yeah, go ahead, bro."
Yeah, and then he fucking got washed. And then Trunks went grade 2, grade 3, and then he was just too bulky. So
Yeah, he couldn't do
yeah,
anything.
he couldn't keep up. But so I basically said, who my favorite character was, but I want to know who your favorite character was and why.
In all honesty, overall, it really was Gohan, but that definitely transferred over during the Majin Buu saga to Vegeta. There was a lot of character development in Vegeta, going from the Cell saga to the Buu saga, and by the Buu saga I mean like the end of it. Him admitting to Kakarot, like, or Goku, yo, you're number one, you got it. I understand my faults and my limitations, all that type of stuff. To even where he is right now, currently, in Super, in the manga, for those who read it, well, his development over the course of many different arcs, to me, makes him one of my favorite characters, or my favorite character in Dragon Ball. After that, it's Broly for sure. Um, Goku ain't cracking top 30 for me.
Mm-hmm.
He's too annoying for me, honestly. But
Mm-hmm.
no, Vegeta and Broly definitely top two. Again, just the development, that I've seen from him as a person, that correlates to me in my life personally. Trying to just do things on my own, not wanting or accepting any help. What I'm saying? Just trying to, I gotta do this by myself, for myself. Like, I have to figure it out. I have to be the best. I can't let anybody stop me. I can't let anyone top me. I can't let anyone. But as life goes on, you notice that, okay, I've been carrying this weight for so long over my shoulders that it's the reason why I can't move the way I want to, and that's pretty much what Beerus told Vegeta in recent time about him, carrying on the sins of all the the Saiyans from before, even saying so much, as they probably deserved what happened to them on their planet because of all the bad things that they've done. And Bears told him like, no, let it go. It has nothing to do with you. You're you. You didn't
Right.
do all that shit. It was them, but you're you. Don't carry things around for so long. And I struggle with that personally in my life, carrying things along and stuff like that. So every time, like you said, you find yourself in a certain scenario, you reference back certain things. And for me, when I find myself being slowed down or held down by things that I shouldn't really be carrying on me, I reference to that, and I'm like, okay, cool, reset, and I'm good again. So again, just Vegeta, man, his development over the course of the entire series has just been amazing to me, which is why he's my favorite character.
Was or is your favorite Dragon Ball video game?
Ah, damn, bro. Um, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like, that's tough. That's tough. You can't do that.
I don't know, man. You got
Oh,
yeah. Then give me your top two, maybe top three.
all right. Yo, there was one for the Game Boy Advance. And it went over the Cell Saga. I don't know if you remember it, what it's called. I
It was
forgot
like
the
Dragon
name.
Ball. It was like Dragon Ball Sagas or some shit like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Something like
yeah.
that.
Bro, I don't know why. I love that one so much, bro. Like you could like play as like Goku, Trunks, Gohan, and then it's like you would press the button to like change your ability. You could like go super. It was calm. It was fun. Like you had like levels and stuff like that. And then obviously, uh, Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Um, that one, everybody was on that. I remember I was at my neighbor's crib this one time, and we had like a fake like little tournament. So I don't know how homie down the street knew, but or heard. Nah, 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 nah. It was a fake little barbecue going on. So he pulled up, and then like four more people pulled up, and we was all like everyone knew how to play already. Like that's how popular that game was, bro. But
Mhm.
definitely Budokai Tenkaichi 3, and then the one for the Game Boy Advance probably is. I feel like I'm missing one. Hold on. I think I'm missing one. Oh, the Dragon Ball Fighters. Yeah,
Oh
the
yeah,
one,
yeah,
the
yeah,
one,
yeah,
the one
yeah.
that, the one that, the more recent one. That one was mad fun. I played it a lot. It got annoying towards like the end of its lifespan, but it was definitely one of the best Dragon Ball Z games that ever drops. How about you, bro?
Yeah, for one, Dragon Ball Tenkaichi 3. Why? Because I felt like it was the closest we could get to fighting like they did
Yep,
on the
yep,
show.
yep.
Because Budokai 1 and 2 and 3, they weren't really like so accurate. It's like, yeah, you could do certain shit, but it wasn't the way that Tenkaichi 3 was. So I would say for sure I have a lot of memories with that game. And then two, see, because you're a fighting games guy. You know, I'm the story guy. So I like Kakarot. To me, that's like a close second after Tenkaichi 3 because the fighting, like the combat might not be up there like that, but the story, the cutscenes is there. You get to walk
Yeah.
around, you get to fly around, you could go and find the Dragon Balls, you know, whenever, however many times you want. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, you had that game?
Kakarot, yeah. In
What?
fact, in fact, that was one of the first games that I played on my YouTube channel. You know, was that. So back when I first started uploading videos, I did like three videos for yeah, it was Kakarot. Yeah. Yeah, all of them was Kakarot. So it was like the
Oh
first one,
wait,
it was
no,
like I
no,
was
no.
fighting.
I definitely did watch you stream that game before. Yeah,
Yeah,
I definitely.
because the first video was when I fought Whis, you know, in order to get I don't know if I already had Super Saiyan God at that point. I don't know. but it was Whis and then the Beerus battle that I lost. And then the third video was when I finally beat Beerus because that shit was actually fucking hard. But yeah, those two games for sure. Those two games for sure. Now I want to ask you too, bro. How do you think him passing away is gonna affect the franchise moving forward? Because that was the first thing that I thought.
Ooh,
That was
yeah,
that was the first
I
thing that
thought
I
about that
thought.
too. I definitely thought about that too. And to be honest with you, I feel like her name escapes me right now, but the woman who voices Goku, um, I feel like she needs to have a lot of say so in what gets approved and what doesn't. I don't know how close Toriyama was with maybe some coworkers that shared his vision or shared his ideals in the company. I hope he did have people like that around him because then hopefully the franchise will go in a better you know and it'll go in a better end result in the future. But you know how quickly things can get out of hand
Facts.
when the person who was the driving force behind it created the story. When they're gone, how quickly things can kind of just become cash grabs and
Just doing shit
create
left and right.
just doing nonsense left and right, bro, just to get some quick bucks and things like that, just to get money off of the name of Dragon Ball. I really hope that does not happen because we've seen it time and time again. And something like that I feel like would definitely tarnish the legacy. Obviously that he created Dragon Ball Z, wrote these characters and put their goals and ambitions into the story. But if someone comes along and uses these same names and drags these characters through the mud, the future generation won't care to look back. I mean, they it's there and they still can. So there's that possibility, but obviously it'll just be different. I just really hope that again the woman who plays Goku, and hopefully again Toriyama had somebody that shared his ideals and his vision for all these characters. I hope they can come together and really be the ones who direct where the franchise goes in the future, man. I it's 50-50. It's definitely
Yeah.
50-50, bro. How do you feel about it?
No, I think it's just like how see, I always thought that Dragon Ball TT was by Akira Toriyama, and it wasn't. Like he wasn't even
Nah,
really, yeah, he wasn't even really involved with that. Now I liked GT, but it's like a lot of different hands are in the pot. But I feel like the best hands are the original ones, who wrote the story, who drew everything, because it's just authentic that way. And like you said, I feel the same way. It's just like my concern is where it's gonna go next, because Toriyama was behind Dragon Ball Super.
yeah,
And that was what really got me reinvested into Dragon Ball because I remember you were into it before I was. That was
yeah,
the
yeah.
thing. Like I wasn't even like yeah, once Naruto was over, yeah, I pretty much like stopped watching, anime altogether. And then you were the one that told me about that. And then that was kind of like the resurgence in like my, adult interest, in Dragon Ball, was concerned. But yeah, honestly, I don't know. I mean, I didn't even like the whole Dragon Ball Daima shit that they got coming up, and I don't know if Toriyama had anything to do with that or not. So I don't know. I don't know. But for me, regardless of what the future is, like I said before, it's like he left enough behind himself, for me to at least if I can't enjoy anything that comes out in the future, I know I have all the original stuff that he did have something to do with, that I
Facts.
could rewatch, and enjoy. So, whatever happens, happens, but hopefully what does happen in the future is good and stays true to whatever it is that he was working on. So if I was like an employee or a freaking CFO or whatever it is, like I'm higher up there, I'm gonna just say, like my rationale behind everything I do moving forward is what would Toriyama do?
Facts.
What would he, where would he go with this? Because this is his thing. We're just helping his vision, and we're fortunate that he'll let us tell our own stories with characters he created. But now it's like everything I want to do or that I would do moving forward would stay true to his vision, to his essence, and to what he wanted. And based off of all the projects that he was in the process of working on, there's enough there to be able to answer that question.
Facts.
I
Facts.
wouldn't want him to, not be there. And then the first thing I'm gonna do is, all right, so I'm gonna just do what I want with Goku. So I'm gonna kill. So basically, if you're somebody that didn't like, the character of Goku, you could just kill him off. You could just
Facts.
write it in the show for him to die. Like that's
Facts.
really how it is. Like the life and death of the overall storyline is really up to the writer. It's like I watch Power and people wonder why certain characters die before they should. It's because the writer set it up that way. If they just don't like it, because it's like if you write a story, you feel a way about the characters that you're writing. And over time, you can just be like, yeah, I'm sick of this guy. I'm gonna just write it. I'm gonna just write him off. I'm gonna just write him off. So
Facts.
hopefully, those things don't happen, because what I always wanted to see and what I always hoped that they were working on was new seasons of Dragon Ball Super. That's what I thought. I'm like, y'all gonna come out with a Dragon Ball Broly movie, and then you're gonna come out with Dragon Ball Super, was it Super Superhero or some shit? That I saw it in the theaters, like, what was it, 2 years ago that it came out? I'm thinking like, all right, all of these things are going to segue back into the anime
So,
adaptation of the manga. That's what I thought, especially like what I hear the manga to be right now is like, yo, I want to see it, on screen, because
yeah.
manga isn't really for everybody. And the thing is, I've been so detached from reading manga. Like literally, the last time I probably read a manga was when Naruto ended. And that
Yeah.
was 2015. Shit, I was playing Kingdom Hearts yesterday, and then I was trying to fight one of like the ending secret bosses, and I got my ass whooped, and I was like, damn, yo, it's literally been that long. And I counted the years. I was like, oh shit, 2015 was that long ago. So, but that's where I'm at with it. Like, it's just all about, when the GOAT isn't here no more, stay true to the GOAT, whatever it is, carry out his wishes, like the Godfather, for instance. So it's like the Godfather, like mob boss type shit. If he's not there anymore and he left, everything to you, then you carry out his wishes pretty much, because he gave it to you. Whoever it is, or that collection of people that's going to be in charge, that's what they got to do. Because it's like Pokemon. It's like there's so much there that you could do a lot with Pokemon. And I hate when people just waste good source material. And then
That's a
whatever,
fact.
yeah, and it's like whatever it is that you see them doing now, it's just like, come on now, like
So
really?
I'm so detached from all of that, bro. It's insane. Like I couldn't even bring myself to watch Pokemon right now.
But that's what
Right.
I'm saying.
Crazy.
So because even the Dragon Ball Daima thing, I'm like, yo, the money and budget that they use to make that, because it's in production right now, they could just make new seasons of Super. Like
Yep.
I don't, what I'm saying. And that's when I was like, what's the meaning, like the miscommunication here? So
And,
those
that,
are,
and that's what I feel like when I was saying earlier about the whole cash grab thing, bro. Like I legitimately feel like that. Like I don't understand the logic behind that move at all. I really don't. But
well, because you know what it is, honestly, and this is what I say about like a lot of like film and entertainment and shit like that. Like the people who make all of these decisions as far as like what's next, sequels and spin-offs and all of that, these are just guys in suits. You feel what I'm saying? They're not actual creatives. And again, maybe Toriyama was a part of that. I don't know. But for me, it's like when you have, such a popular show like that, you just kind of want to keep your ear to what the fans want, and then do like polls on DragonBall.com or some shit and be like, all right, what do y'all want to see? And then based off of that, this is what I'm gonna make. I'm like, that's pretty much how I run my YouTube channel. Like I make shit that I want to see, but then I also have my ear to what my subscribers want too. So that way they're not just looking at like this nigga just makes whatever he wants, but he also listens to us too. So it's just a healthy balance of both, because we have Dragon Ball already. That's what I said before. Like if I was gonna do a trailer reaction because I missed that, that's exactly what I would have said. I'm like, well, we got a Kid Goku in Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball GT. I don't need another Kid Goku. Needless to say about a bait like a Kid Vegeta. Like I don't want to see that.
nah, that ass, man. I'm not trying to see that
Yeah,
shit. To
hold on.
be
Let me see if he actually was involved in that. Hold on. Dragon Ball. Yeah, I think he was. Hold on. It says, yeah. Oh no. Oh, so he made the story. So he wrote it. Yeah, he wrote it. This is his.
mm.
Yeah, because it says I'm currently working on. So this is what he said. He said I'm currently working on a new Dragon Ball. The title. Oh, guys, pop up. So the title is Dragon Ball Daima. Daima is a made up term, which in Japanese characters would be or in English would be something like evil. Due to a conspiracy, Goku and his friends are turned small. Basically, like on because maybe because he wasn't involved in GT, so then that makes sense then because he had nothing to do with GT. So it says due to a conspiracy, Goku and his friends are turned small. In order to fix things, they'll head off to a new world. It's a grand adventure with intense action in an unknown and mysterious world. Since Goku has to make up for his petite size, he uses his a power pole to fight, something not seen in a long time. I came up with the story and settings as well as a lot of the designs. I'm actually putting a lot more into this than usual. Things will unfold that close in on the mysteries of the Dragon Ball world. Hope you all enjoy these different from usual battles that are cute and powerful. So, I mean, I look at it like from a creative standpoint, it's like, it is healthy to switch it up sometimes, but personally, that's just
The
not what I wanted to see.
the only thing that I heard from the reading you just did was, tying up some of the mysteries of the Dragon Ball universe. Hopefully we get some answers and some, like, a peek into like the Saiyans past, because that's always nice to see. And we get some more lore, to go off of. That's pretty much what I just got from that. Aside from that, I'm not really set on the
Mm-mm.
whole small characters, cute and
Yeah, like
powerful. Nah, I'm not down with that.
yeah, but
you know.
it's like I just said. Like I just think that's just the rationale behind that. Like I said, if you've always been doing the same thing, same character designs and all of that, is just it's good for you. It's almost as if like you had the same hairstyle for 5 years. When you finally switch it up, it's like refreshing when you look in the mirror and you see something different than what you've been looking at every day for the last 5 years. Whether it's you trim your facial hair, you get rid of the beard, or you cut your hair off, it feels good. So, that's the only way I can
I
make sense of
mean,
it because,
I
just
mean,
being
yeah,
creative myself.
but I'm gonna use that same analogy right back at you. You could you could shave your beard off and be like, "What the hell is this?"
Shit, sometimes, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm
'Cause
saying? So,
yeah, because it's
yeah.
just like now it's because he passed away. I'm like it's hard for me to pay respects and then like criticize the guy at the same time. So I'm just like, all
Well,
right, well
nah,
maybe this is
listen,
where this
listen.
is where he meant by that.
No, listen. Much respects to Toriyama. You know what I'm saying? Again, much respects to everything he has done in his life. He's accomplished all of that. Sure, but again, this looks to be like like you said, an experiment, a
Mm,
refreshing thing to do, and that's okay if it's not received well. Because again,
yeah,
you can always tweak things to make them better, and that's completely fine. But on the outside look, and mind you, it hasn't even dropped yet, so I could be eating my own words. You know,
right,
I don't know. Um, which is completely fine. Again, everyone has their opinions and what they like, visually and stuff like that. But again, just gotta wait and see. But generally speaking, those types of things don't really suit me, and that's just my personal thing, But
facts. Yeah, I hear that.
and it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that. But yeah. All right, so but anyway, bro. So I appreciate you coming on, talking about Dragon Ball, sharing this moment, reminiscing, going down memory lane and all of that. So, what are your thoughts? Please be sure as always to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.